Today we are going to discuss one analysis, one case study on the Payment of Wage Act. Payment of Wage Act 1936, we discussed the concept, why this act came, what are the rules and regulations. We are going to discuss one case study. What do you mean by case study? Case study, as I told you earlier, is an additional analysis. Suppose you want something more on a topic, on a concept, a technology. So you will do more research, more analysis. That is nothing but case study. Suppose this is the act, Payment of Wage Act. We want more. So someone wants to understand and critically analyze what is the benefits we are getting from this act and what are the problems we are getting from the act. So for that, you may have to analyze the plus and minus and do a couple of survey, talk to the people, collect the data from all the steps. Then you will come up with an analysis, one report. So that is nothing but a case study. That means you are studying a case. You are studying a situation. You are analyzing a situation. So similarly, what we are going to discuss a case study on this Payment of Wage Act. Whatever points we have discussed, similar to that, same from the same act, we have come up with some additional points. Something are related, something are not related. Those additional points we'll discuss one by one. From that analysis, one can predict, one can enhance, one can propose the amendment. A lot of things can happen from that analysis. So what we are going to study, one analysis, one case study on Payment of Wage Act. Let me open that. Okay, this one. Additional features of Payment of Wages Act. There are some features what we studied, but these are additional things. In addition to the key aspect discussed earlier, there are several other important features and provisions for this act. So when we studied those things, so we got some additional point that contributes to its significance to protecting the rights and welfare of the workers in India. So when you came up with some additional points, that is actually giving some benefits or protecting the employees. So once you understand this point, this study, then you can relate that what you studied earlier. The first thing is clear and detailed wage statement. So we studied that everyone should get the wage. The employer also one obligation, one responsibility to pay the wage. Here, there is one point, clear and detailed wage statement. The act mandates that employers provide workers with a clear and detailed wage statement along with their payment. ତମେ ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ଦୋକାନରୁ କିଣୁଛ, ତମେ ଗୋଟେ ବିଲ୍ ଆଣୁଛ, ମାଗୁଛ, ଗାଡ଼ିରେ ପେଟ୍ରୋଲ ପକାଉଛ, ବିଲ୍ ଆଣୁଛ, ରେଷ୍ଟୁରାଣ୍ଟ ଯାଇ ଖାଉଛ, ବିଲ୍ ଆଣୁଛ। ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ଜିନିଷର ଗୋଟେ ବିଲ୍ ଅଛି, ଗୋଟେ କେତେ କ'ଣ ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚ ହେଉଛି ତାର ଗୋଟେ ଷ୍ଟେଟମେଣ୍ଟ ଅଛି। ତେଣୁ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଯେଉଁ ୱେଜ୍ ଦିଆହେଉଛି, ଯେଉଁ ସାଲାରୀ ଦିଆହେଉଛି, ସେଥିପାଇଁ ବି ଗୋଟେ ଷ୍ଟେଟମେଣ୍ଟ ଆମେ ପାଇବା କଥା। ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ନଥିଙ୍ଗ ବଟ୍ ପେ ସ୍ଲିପ୍। ଆମର କେତେ ସାଲାରୀ ହେଉଛି, କେତେ ଦିନ ଆମେ କାମ କଲେ, ତାର କେତେ ଡିଡକ୍ସନ୍ ହେଉଛି, କେତେ ପ୍ରୋଭିଡେଣ୍ଟ ଫଣ୍ଡ ଯାଉଛି, ସବୁ ଫାଇନାଲି ଆମ ବ୍ୟାଙ୍କକୁ କେତେ ଆସୁଛି, ସବୁ ଡିଟେଲ ଗୋଟେ ପେ ସ୍ଲିପ୍ରେ ଲେଖା ହେଉଛି। से भला गोटे रूल रहा कथा clear and detailed wage statement. The act mandates that employers provided workers with clear and detailed wage statements along with their payments. Prohibition of delay in wage payment. The Act explicitly prohibits any unauthorized deduction from wage or delay in wage payment. Wage period decide ହେଲା ପରେ ଆମର ଗୋଟେ ଆମେ ପଢିଥିଲେ wage time. Suppose monthly ତୁମକୁ ଦରମା ମିଳୁଛି ପ୍ରତି ମାସର 1 ତାରିଖ 7 ତାରିଖ 5 ତାରିଖ କ'ଣ ଗୋଟେ ଡେଟ୍ ଫିକ୍ସ ହେଇଛି କିମ୍ବା ୱିକଲି ମିଳୁଛି ମଣ୍ଡେ କି ଟ୍ୟୁଜଡେ प्रति वीकली मैंने तो डिले हबार नहीं पेमेंट ऑफ डिले इन्वेस्टमेंट कौन सी कारण तुम डिडक्शन भूल किंबा कौन सी कारण डिले हबार नहीं प्रोविजंस ऑफ डिले इन्वेस्टमेंट that act prohibits and restrict the employer delaying or paying the wage मन इच्छा मुझे आज जाइले आज मोर पैसा अच्छी मुझे पे करी काली पैसा नहीं रखिदेवी 2 दिन पर पे करी एमती हो पार यू हैव टू कमिटेड इट दिस एक्ट प्रोहिबिट protection against unlawful deduction whatever deduction we have studied we know that it's allowed we can give that kind of deduction. You cannot deduct something which is not lawful on unlawful deduction. Protection against unlawful deduction. Make act specify the types of deduction that employers are allowed to make from workers' wage and sets limits and the amount can be deducted. तुम जहाँ जहाँ deduct करछो the employee salary ro you have to make sure those deductions are allowed. You cannot deduct anything what you want. Protection against unlawful deduction. Redressal of grievance. Redressal माने काली मैं बोलती redressal माने तमार compensation तमार रोटे complaint cell तमार रोटे problem अच्छी तमें कि जन अथॉरिटी अच्छी तमें तांको कोचा सब तमें क्लास रे कागर तमें पिला के हरियाण को से तमें क्लास टीचर को कोचा you have a mechanism to complain तमें कोई ट्रैवल करजा तमें ट्रैवल करजा तमें ट्रैवल बस रे तमरा प्रॉब्लम हैला तमें कंडक्टर को कोचा बस ड्राइवर को कोचा you have some authority redressal mechanism redressal of grievances means complaint the act provides a mechanism for workers to seek redressal of their grievance related to the wage payment. Wage related jete problem achi, you have a place, you have a forum to complain. Workers have the rights to approach the appropriate authorities such as labor court, different tribunals, lower court. You have place to work with your grievance, redressal mechanism. So these are additional points. We'll further discuss penalties for non-compliance. Penalties mean punishment or fine. In the act, it has been included which case, what is the penalty, and whom we will charge. So everything is detailed. So if someone is doing misconduct or someone is doing not obeying the rule for any non-compliance, The act has prescribed what is the penalty on that person. Application of the act to contact and peace rate workers. The act extends its coverage to contract and piece rate workers. Piece rate is nothing but a method of payment. So it is contract means suppose जोटा आम कहते जोटा कुत्त जोटा माने सपोज जड़े कंट्राक्टर तुम गोटे काम कर कंस्ट्रक्शन काम हो you already told a group that this is the work you have to complete, you will get this much. So that is a contract. That means you are giving the job to that group to complete it with certain amount. That is a contract. And piece rate is something like unit rate. So you have defined, okay, suppose same construction work है तमे गोटे वाल होची ब्रिक्स रे होची कि पत्थर रे होची कि ठारे होची तमे काउंट कर देला तमे 1000 डेटा कले एति पैसा 2000 कले एति पैसा 3000 कले से अनुसार तमे that is piece rate. So you have contract and piece rates. So we can implement that. The act extends its coverage to contract and piece rate workers, ensuring that they are also protected under its provision. Provisions for inspection. The act grants labor inspector and the authority to conduct inspection of establishments to ensure compliance with its provisions. Suppose जो कौन जार काम हो जो कंस्ट्रक्शन हो जो बड़ बिल्डिंग होची कौन होची इंस्पेक्शन प्रोविजन रे सपोज तुम जाऊ छ देखु छ ऑडिट कर छ किंबा गोटे स्टोर किंबा गोटे बड़ मॉल ले किछ लोग काम कर so you are going to inspect, you are going to visualize the place, whatever they are working, how they are working. This labor inspection should be in place. Provisions of inspection. The Act grants labor inspector authority. These points we have not studied, but it is there in the Act. The Act grants the labor inspector the authority to conduct inspection of establishment to ensure compliance with its provision. You are going to audit, inspect one facility. So what you are seeing, the production unit, how they are produced, what is the method they are using. So you are going to inspect everything. So that is there in the Act. Non-discrimination of wage payment. This is something also we studied. Non-discrimination. So even the person is from a higher gender or lower gender, irrespective of the gender, race, religion, caste, or any other ground, so you are not discriminating. You are discriminating only based on their skill, their competency, what they work. So you are discriminating and only for that. So that means a higher skill person is getting higher, a lower skill person is getting lower. But you are not discriminating based on their religions, based on their background. If that person is coming from a village, doesn't know anything, you can pay whatever you want. So that kind of discrimination is not there. Non-discrimination is welcome. So the act giving that facility, the Payment of Wage Act 1936 prohibits any worker's wage in the event of the employer. Non-discrimination. Protection of wage in case of insolvency. Insolvency माने कौन? The Act includes provisions to protect workers' rights in the event of employers' insolvency. Suppose company बुड़ी गला, bankruptcy गला. The employer is not paying you whatever they're supposed to pay based on that. So you are in the loser side. So the act is actually protecting you, protection of wage in case of insurance. It ensures that even if the employer faces financial difficulties or goes bankrupt, workers' wages are given priority and on a timely basis and not compromised in any case. In the second sentence, it is written, even if the owner, the employer is having some financial problem, so workers' wage is the highest priority. You cannot stop the wage. So because of the act, we are giving this priority. The rights of legal hire. The act recognizes the rights of legal hire to receive any unpaid wage owed to the package workers. That means what? It ensures that the rightful beneficiary of the workers' wages are not deprived of their entitlement. Legal hire means Sattadhikari, who is the next person. Suppose you have a big property on your grandfather name, your father grandfather name. But ultimately that should be turned to your name or your father name so that you can enjoy the property. Suppose you want to dispose that property tomorrow. So you have to make sure you have proper legal document. So this act is giving that rights of legal hire. We have some more point, prohibition of fines in certain cases. So this is something related to penalty. We studied fines and penalty, legal protection against power to make rules. The act empowers the appropriate government to make rules and regulations to further implementation and enforce the provision of the act. Extension of the act to the other establishment. This is another concept. We are not thinking this act. Suppose under this act there are certain establishment is covered. So we are thinking extension of this act to other establishment. The act allows the government to extend its provisions to the other establishment or industries as deemed necessary. This flexibility enables the act's coverage to be expanded to ensure that workers or various sections are protected by its provision. So this act can solve for those establishments which are not included in these provisions. So this can be extended to different establishments. That is what the study says. This additional aspect of the Payment of Wage Act 1936 enforces its objective and providing comprehensive protections and regulation of wage payment. So these are the additional points came in the analysis, came in the study. So this study has done by one university. I have mentioned, not mentioned. So what are the points you remember, which are the additional points came with the case study? Additional features of Payment of Wages Act. So when you studied the real act, so we went through the concepts. This is the meaning, then know what is called as wage, what are the objectives, description, features. Along with that, we have now discussed some additional points. After this, we are going to discuss some important question here. Some questions, maybe we'll take a break, then we'll discuss some question. Couple of questions I will share after the break. So what we have seen in the old exam. We studied the bonus act. So the question I am talking about related to the same act, Payment of Bonus Act. Discuss that and I will share it after the break. We'll meet in the same link after 5 minutes and you can give me your attendance.